Well, greetings. It has been a hot minute since I've done a video. Um, Gosh, I think it was sometime in the summer last time I did one. And I've recently got two packages in from two separate sellers that I have not purchased from before. Um, Obviously, I made the purchases. I know what's in the packages, but I figured I would go ahead and share out and just let others see the goodies that I got. And the first package I'm going to go through is from a record store in Maryland. And I've been inspired recently to pick up some more 7-inch singles. Scott Waters is, occasionally shares out some of his, and I just get it. Just to figure out, well, there's some good stuff out there that I haven't added to my collection, and so just been keeping my eye out. Recently, I picked up some from a store just a half hour north of where I live here, and got some decent singles, and found some online to add to the collection. So, without any further ado, I'll share out some of what I got here. And I'll go ahead and start with the 7-inch singles. And let's see, looks like both of them are together in one sleeve. The first one I've got here is a Scorpions Make It Real. And this would be two songs from Animal Magnetism. This particular 7-inch is a German press, and it was released in 1980 and appears to be on the Harvest label. I have to excuse the glare. So let's see, Make It Real on the A side and Hold Me Tight on the B side. Both tracks are found on Animal Magnetism. And the other 7-inch that I got from this seller is an Alice Cooper from the Trash album. And this is House of Fire. I've never seen this one in a while before. This is a UK pressing. It says made in England on the back. And it is House of Fire A side and Poison Live on the B side. I am not sure if that particular live track is exclusive to this 7-inch or if it came from some other release, but it may be something I've not heard before. And so Epic Records. Can't go wrong with Alice. I love his early stuff, love his mid-paced, or not mid-pace, but mid-career heavy metal music, and then of course his more recent return, what I feel like is a return to his roots, later day music. Love Alice Cooper, one of my favorites. And as well as the two 7-inch, I got two full albums from the same seller. And it looks like this record was shipped outside the sleeve, which I appreciate because I do not like seam splits. I don't know if anybody does, but this one is a gently used copy of Van der Graaf Generator, God Bluff. And I've got one other album of theirs on CD. I've not gotten any of these on record before, so this will be a first for Van der Graaf. But I do have one of Peter Hamel, one of his records, one of his better known records on LP. A little bit of damage there along the top, but for the price in which I got this, I will take it. No complaints. And this is on the Charisma label. So, same label that did the early Genesis. This is a UK press, so anybody that is into Genesis or Pink Floyd would probably appreciate this band. And then the fourth album that I got from this seller I was really excited about, because I'm pretty certain Scott Waters will probably have this, but this is supposedly this is a promo, but I don't think it was mass produced. This was released in the United States. It is Ted Nugent, State of Shock, and it is a picture disc of the full album, and this was released in 1997. So this was one of his albums I do not currently own, whether on CD or record. So I was excited to get this. Looks like the sleeve is in pretty good condition. A little bend, a little edge wear. Of course, I won't know what the record sounds like. I know some people complain about the sound of picture discs, but most of the ones I have, okay, maybe some occasional pops for some used ones and older picture discs, but the ones that are being churned out now, on my system, I really don't hear a big difference. Sonically, they sound good. Some of my picture discs, I think, might sound better than some newer pressings of records that I've bought in Walmart and other places like that. So excited to have this in my collection, ever increasing collection of Ted Nugent. And the next package is from here in Tennessee, a record shop in Memphis, which once again I have not purchased from before. Good packaging. So I'm gonna have to do a little cutting here. Looks like they've got some extra packaging on the inside for the 7 inches, and I appreciate that, so they're not floating around inside the package. And let's see where to start. I should have 4 in here. I do. And we're gonna start off with Judas Priest, Heading Out to the Highway, from just underrated, I know probably not at the top or even the middle of lists of favorite Judas Priest albums, Heading Out to the Highway, but I've always appreciated that album. It's good hard rock, and I especially love this track. The title track is phenomenal. And what interests me about this was the B-sides. There's actually 2 of them, 2 of their maybe shorter songs, Rock Forever and Hellbent for Leather. And yeah, they're live. It doesn't say where. I don't know if they're taken from, they wouldn't be taken from the late 80s live, because this was released in 1981, and this is a US pressing. I believe that there's a bunch of other pressings with the same sleeve, but I'm curious to hear the live tracks and see if I've heard them. Of course, I'll have to look on the Judas Priest re-release CDs, because they threw in a bunch of extra tracks on the represses, which, I don't know, probably over 10 years ago were re-released, and I got the set with all the CDs in it and all the extras. So it's possible I've heard those before, but if not, that's something cool to have. Some more live Priest, and fantastic album from their 1981 album. All right, from a band that I am less familiar with, and another UK band, Hawkwind. And let's see, this one is Back on the Streets. And what little bit of research I did on this, I could not figure out. There's 2 tracks. Could not figure out which album those came from. So I don't know if these are exclusive or if they can be found. They could be live. I have no idea. So this is the Back on the Streets. It was released in 1977. And so, yeah, side A, Back on the Streets. Side B, The Dream of Isis. And, well, I don't know if anybody's going to watch this video, but if anybody does, if you're a Hawkwind fan and you happen to know where these tracks came from, if they were in fact released on a full length, I'd always appreciate some info. If not, I will continue to try and research online. But of course, my interest in this band would definitely lean towards the fact that Lemmy, who created and fronted Motorhead, originally started with Hawkwind. And I've been slowly working through his biography. I'm not even halfway through, but I am currently into the Hawkwind part of his career. So a very cool item to have there. I think I've only got two Hawkwind CDs. And then the next band, I've got two 7-inches, Genesis, and this is from Abacab, I believe, released in 81, but this 7-inch was actually released in 82, so maybe a few months after the official release. This is a US pressing on Atlantic Records, and the 2 tracks come from Abacab, Man on the Corner, and well, I take that back. B-side is Submarine, which was not released on Abacab. So it says previously unreleased, but you know, in the time since it was released, it may have shown up on a compilation, or I don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard it before. So once again, this was 82 release. And the following year, or maybe 2 years later, this is Taking It All Too Hard. Also Genesis, this was released on their self-titled album, which was in 83, and the single was also released in 83. Or maybe the album was released 82. I think there's once again a year difference between the two of them. They show the album cover on the back and all the song titles, but this one is Taking It All Too Hard on the A side and Silver Rainbow on the B side. So I appreciate Phil Collins. I really gravitate towards their proggier stuff. So, you know, from even their first album on through Wind and Wuthering, you know, Phil Collins, when he took over on vocals, I appreciate those two. I was actually probably exposed to more of their 80s, this material, via the radio and MTV, and that's where I gained my appreciation. But once I discovered the prog stuff and loving Genesis and Pink Floyd, and yes, it was only natural to pick up on Genesis and bands like Jethro Tull with their 70s material. And I believe that leaves me with just one more. And this kind of goes, even though this gentleman did not show up on those last 2 7-inch singles, he was in Genesis prior to the release of those, and that's Steve Hackett. And this is Highly Strung, which is an album that I've never heard before. I know that this one doesn't necessarily sit as his one of his top albums, maybe not the most proggiest, but I love the album cover, and Steve Hackett is a fantastic guitar player, very underrated, and I look forward to listening to this. Ian Mosley on drums, I recognize that name. I'm not sure which other band he might have played in, but this is 1982 release, and this is a UK pressing on Charisma. So once again, we've got the Charisma label. Anything on the Charisma label is going to be something I want to give a listen to. So there's that. And I guess just to wrap up the video, something that's kind of unrelated to those and did not come in those packages, but something that showed up yesterday, and I had kind of put off purchasing this. I had gotten the first 2 represses, the Christian, I don't know if we want to say extreme metal, but definitely thrash and borderline extreme for their day. Tourniquet, I picked up Pathogenic Ocular Dissonance, and this is a the newest pressing. So I believe this one was maybe 2022. I had yet to buy this on record. I've got a copy of it on CD, and it just, it kills. It's awesome. It's great. So the remastering, I think, was 2022. This was put out on Retroactive Records, and Matthew Hunt did the producing, and I'm sure Scott Waters had a hand in the layout, and Rob Caldwell doing the remastering. So I know this is going to sound a bit different than the CD version that I have. Of course, one being because it's on vinyl, and two because it's been remastered, and it's going to have an awesome splatter vinyl, double vinyl. So this is what I'm putting on first. I've had this one sitting for a few days, haven't had a chance to spin much music, and it is Friday, so I'm planning on jamming out. So, well, thanks to anybody that took the time to watch this 16 minute video plus a few seconds. Appreciate you taking the time if you watch through, and who knows, maybe I'll do another video sometime before 6 months passes. Y'all take care, and God bless.